Welcome everybody to this new episode on data integration with Talend. In this first episode, I'm now going to walk you through the installation process of Talend, the application. I assume that you already have the application installed and running. We're going to be discussing four of the most essential components to get you started with Talend ESB. So what we make with Talend ESB is create routes. ESB stands for Enterprise Service Bus, and this is a set of components that allows you to integrate multiple platforms, multiple APIs into one single route. So the first thing that you can do to create a route is just by clicking on routes. You can display routes here. You will see folders. You can create your own in which you can store your applications, your integration projects. I have created something here called YouTube. So if you right click on the folder, then you can click on create routes. You give it a name. Let's give it a simple name. Of course, you need to find proper names for your routes, describe them, and all the things. And basically, you just click on finish, and now you see this blank page here. If you click on, you can find the components by just going on the palette right here. You can see there's a on the right hand side you see components. You can just hit display all those options here, and you will see the different type of components that are available. There are a lot of components. They are subdivided in connectivity, core, and many things. But anyway, if you just click on the blank page here and you hit, for instance, the letter C on your keyboard, you will see all components started by C. I will get started with the cTimer component. The cTimer component is an orchestration component that you can find it under orchestration, probably. Yes, there is cTimer. You can also just drag and drop components into the board. So there's the cTimer. You can double click on it, or just right click and go into settings if you cannot see the timer. And like here we have the configuration properties of this component. The only thing that I will do here is just set 1 on the repeat, because I want the route to be executed only once for this purpose, for this exercise. So Talend ESB, what it does is, on the background, it is creating a Apache Camel route. So in Apache Camel we deal with headers and with body. So we have an exchange, a message, which is composed of body and headers, and we can just route this information and transform it, integrate it along the route in multiple ways. So the first thing we're going to do here, then, now we created timer, the cTimer. Now we can create, let's say, the clog. The clog component, it will log information onto the screen. If you go down here onto the specify output message, if you don't see it here, you can always go right click settings, and this component settings window will be displayed. So here it says simply message, and we see the quotes. So I can create just a message in quotes, and if you click on the component, right click, you can go route, or you can simply click once, and from here you can just right click or left click for the matter, extend the line and release onto the next component. So this is basically a route that we just created. So if you're going to run job route and click on the run button, it will build the route and it will print onto the screen the message. So that's pretty simple, but of course we don't want to just do that. We want to work with headers. So if you clicked on the board C, you type just C, you just type C and write cSetHeader, you will have a header. So again, click once, hover onto the component to which the route is connected, the first component is connected, and just left click and drag and drop onto the header. You can also name these components by just clicking on it. Let's say header 1. You can personalize this header, these titles. Now we have a header, right? Now we can bind it again towards the clog, right? And we see it is showing something like a exclamation mark, red exclamation mark, which shows that something is not right. So we double click on the component, and the reason why it's not right is because we haven't configured it. There's no header information here, so we want to create a header. So the nice thing about this Talend ESB, pardon me, is that you can choose a wide variety of programming languages to transform your data, your headers. So if you click here on the language, you can choose many different stuff: Ruby, JavaScript, PHP, simple, you name it. There's a lot of stuff, but as for now we're going to do only a constant. So a constant, we choose the name. We have to make sure that the name, whatever name we give it, it's enclosed in the quotes. So this header is, let's give it a name. Let's call it header 1, just for the sake of this exercise. And here also in quotes, I'm going to write I am the header. So we have a header, created a header, and now we need a way to retrieve the header in another component. So we're going to write here with a $, curly brackets, header dot header 1. Okay, so if we build the route again, it will print I am the header. So far so good. So the same thing we're going to do with another component, which is called body. Again, we click on it, get the plus sign, drag and drop, do the same again, drag and drop, and here we're going to create, again, you are able to choose a wide variety of languages. Later on I will explain how to interact with those languages. As for now, we're going to just write here I am the body of this route. So this body can be a message, a payload retrieved from an API call or an integration platform. So that can be a lot of different things. So once we have the header set with the component cSetBody, we can go on and again retrieve that body. The mechanism is the exact same mechanism. We say body. In this case we just write body. If you stop this route and build it again, it should print the body and the header. Let's take a look. I am the header, I am the body of this route. Very good. So far so good. I will just add some carriage returns here. Good. Now we have another component which is very important, especially for those who are familiar with Java language. It can help a lot because most of the things that we can do with the components we can also accomplish by just raw coding in Java. So what we do is cProcessor. This cProcessor is very important because we can transform and do, as I say, all the things that we can do with the components. If you don't know how to, or you cannot find the special component to solve your needs, you can always use a cProcessor and use your profit your Java coding skills to accomplish your goal. So we go over here, and here let's say we want to transform the body and the header that we just set with the components. So let's get started. We create a variable. Let's say the string is my header, and exchange, if you start typing and you type the combination, key combination C spacebar, you will see that you can autocomplete. Again, what we want to do is get this change in, get in again, and we're gonna get the header, right? Get header. So I want to retrieve the header because I want to transform it or simply replace it. I'm not going to make it complicated this time. I just want to replace the header that we just set. So the header that we just set said I am the header, right? And it's called header 1. So here I am request to give what's the name of my header, header 1, comma, and I need to specify the class. This is a string class as required in Java, and you end the line with a semicolon, hit enter, and then you can, let's say, print out this message: system out println and my header. Oop. So now I'm retrieving the header and I am printing it out with my cProcessor along the way until the clog. So let's see if that works. It will be interesting to hit an error, so that way we can troubleshoot it. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted actually. When you hit an error, you can troubleshoot it by just going to code. If you clicked on code, there'll be the red, and yes, I misspelled println. I missed the T, right? So you go back to designer, click on your component, and add this T, click on enter, build the route again, and there you go. I am the header. It's been printed here by the cProcessor component, and then we reach the clog, and the clog is printing the header again, and it is printing the body. So we can do the exact same thing for retrieving the body. Let's do the same. You just go over here. You can pretty much well, instead of getting the header, you get body here. Get the body, and let's call it my body, and we can also print it out right here, my body. Again, you click, kill the route, and run it again. It will build. And again we have an error. If we look into the code again, we see that there's something going on here. There's a root stop here. Cannot convert from object to string. Okay, so if we go into designer again, you click onto the route, then you need that system out println is not able to convert this into a string, or in any case is not at this point is not able to cast this object into a string. So use Java to say toString, right? Click again, and by the way, it's very nice that we're hitting errors, because it's a very good way. I didn't plan to walk you through the troubleshooting part, but it comes in handy. So there we go. We have the header, we have the body printed out by the cProcessor component, and as we progress through the routes, we end up printing out the header and the body again on the clog component. So we are going to make a little transformation. I'm not going to transform, I'm going to replace the message just to make it simple, so we don't get into other territory at this moment. So I retrieve the header, but now I want to actually set the header from the command line, from the I'm not going to print it anymore here, but I want to exchange exchange get out set header, right? And we're going to define the name. The name is going to be the same, so that we don't have to rewrite what we set up in the component clog already. So I'm going to basically replace the message with something different. I am replacing the header, right? I'm going to take the risk to just do the same for the exchange get out. I like to autocomplete always, because that way you make sure that you are writing the exact same syntax. Remember, autocomplete, just control space bar, like in it's called Eclipse. By the way, this application is based on Eclipse, so if you are familiar with Eclipse and Java programming, you will see that many things are quite similar. So get out, set body. You set the body, and then asking you to set up an object. I will just constant hard code the body here, and the body will be I am replacing the body, right? So let's do it again. Hit on run. I am replacing the header, I am replacing the body, right? So with this simple exercise, you can see the potential of the things that you can do with these basic 4 components. Of course, we have not yet connected to an API, which is the main purpose of Talend ESB. The main purpose is that you retrieve data from one server or API, and then build a route, transform it, and take decisions among the path to what to do with that data and where to forward it or store. So that's pretty much, you can have an idea of what you can do with this by using Java stuff, like let's say the same way I converted to string the body. You could also let's say replace and then use regular expressions to transform data and so but again, this is just a workaround for when you cannot find the exact the appropriate component to reach your goal. You can always rely on the cProcessor. The most important is that you know which component does what. And yeah, in next videos I will be walking you through other concepts of Talend ESB, like for instance we have beans, Java beans, and we have loops and many different things. As for now, I think this is a good start. You can experiment with this, experiment with the languages that you can write here, or you can add multiple headers, you can combine them and such. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.